what up, everyone? Welcome to the Heartful Truth. This is your host, Melly, and my co host, 7 Octoberz. Today's topic will be about our relationship with our grandmothers, powered by Platform Collection.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the Heartful Truth. This is episode 3. Our guest is MC and just creative Noa James. We also have the Heartful Truth merch. As you can see, we have t-shirts in black and white. So if you're interested in supporting us, we would appreciate it. And you can DM us on Instagram at the Heartful Truth. Also, for the audio version of this podcast, you can search us on all streaming under the Heartful Truth. Or if you prefer the video podcast version, you can subscribe here to our YouTube channel, Platform Collection, and like, comment, all that helps us out. We appreciate and hope you guys enjoy this episode.
What's up, everyone? 7 Octoberz here, and my co-host Melly, with another episode of the Heartful Truth. This is episode 3, and this episode we wanted to talk about the relationship with our grandmothers. Especially like me and my little sister Melly, we were super close to our abuelita Rafaela. May she rest in peace. She really impacted us in our creativity and obviously in our lives overall. And we wanted to have a guest that can relate to that relationship we had. And actually, I've been talking to this guest for a while about having this conversation. So it's kind of cool that it's coming to fruition. So today we have rapper, entrepreneur, fashion designer, I would call him, because he has his own clothing line, Be Majestic. And I have his shirt right here, Keep That Shitty Energy to Yourself. So without further ado, I'll bring out Noa James here. What's up, Noa?
What's good?
Hey, thank you for joining us on this this episode. And like I said, I wanted to have this conversation for you with a while. You were really close to your grandmother. May she rest in peace as well. She just transitioned not that long ago. Ours it's been 7 years for us that we lost our abuelita. But without further ado, we would like to get into it, and I'll pass it on to my co-host here, Melly.
Alrighty, to get the conversation started, I'll start off with the first question. How would you describe your grandma for people who didn't know her?
Tough and sweet. Like, tough and sweet, straight up. Like, taffy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she was all of that. She was like razor blades and cakes. Like, she was wild. She was wild and sweet, man. That's all I can say, because some people would have thought she was mean, but you just didn't get the gel with her to understand her and why she's so tough. Like, this is a black woman that grew up in the 40s and the 50s and 60s, you know, and was very developed black woman as a child. You know, she being 6'1", you know, 200 plus woman, you know what I mean? So tough and sweet, man. That's what she is. Straight, give you wisdom, tell you like it is, won't sugarcoat shit at all.
Yeah.
She would help you bury the body.
Yeah.
Then you have to deal with her. Yeah, she was everything. That's pretty much that, man. Tough and sweet. That's easy.
Yeah. Did she like is she from like your mom's side or your dad's side, or what side was your
my mom's side?
Mom's side. And did she kind of like raise you? Is that how that relationship became like so close, or how did that relationship get built?
Yeah, because like, you know, I was in group homes. So by the time she got me, you know, I'm still young, and she got like 8 of her grandkids already.
Oh, wow.
So it was like that time where, you know, my mom on drugs, my auntie on drugs, other aunt on drugs, and the grandparents are taking care of all the kids, up to almost 11 kids.
Oh, wow. So how old were you when your grandma got you? Like around what age were you?
Around like 9.
9? Okay.
Like, and I'm in and out too, because like she couldn't get me because there was so many kids in the house. You know, they don't allow they don't allow you to have that many kids in the house. So her house became like a revolving door. Like, once one kid might turn 18 and another kid could come in. One kid might get killed. Like, my cousin got killed, you know. Another one can come in, or someone run away. It was like that, you know. Then she would take care of all the kids, even their kids, like build a house in the back, so their kids can, our parents can have something. So it was really like, I don't call it the stereotypical like 80s 90s story, you know what I mean, but this one was kind of unique because there was still a lot of love among all that chaos.
Yeah.
A lot of discipline, a lot of we challenged everything, but we were smart when we challenged. They actually gave us wisdom instead of ignoring us. Why? Like, the why was followed up with a reason where okay, that makes sense. So that's a blessing. The older I get, I understand how much that's a blessing. There's people with two parents that don't have that.
That's true.
Yeah, that is true. Pretty deep. Like how was her upbringing for your grandmother? Like as far as like, because you said she was a tough woman, obviously. So she obviously, and she grew up in the 40s, 50s, where it was like racism was, and it was like segregation, all that. So how was that?
She grew up in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oh shit!
As a sharecropper with her family. So they owned a farm. They owned land. Because that was when her parents got freed. This is what they inherited in this, this land. And my grandma grew up with what is it? Three brothers, two sisters.
Okay.
Yeah, and my great grandma Jessie Lee. What is she? Half Apache, half black.
Okay.
So like this is where my grandmother stemmed from, Little Rock. Shoot, she made moonshine, went hunting. That was the type of woman she was. She was a hunter. She hunt. She wringing chickens' heads off, cutting goats, like, teaching me how to skin goats and shit like that. So that's how she was raised. She was raised on a farm. And she had to do everything the boys had to do.
Wow,
so my great grandpa didn't treat her like, come on, my great grandpa know how hard it was gonna be for her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he didn't treat her no different. Like she did everything they could do. So she was really raised on that, where this is a woman that taught me how to shoot guns, make moonshine, shave. So she knew she was the all-in-one, right?
Yeah.
My uncles the same thing, because my uncles have to cook, they have to clean, they have to know how to wash dishes, they know how to do laundry, they have to do everything the woman know how to do too, So it was really I would say it's kind of unique how my how her upbringing is, because it was like you got that 2-in-1 without even knowing it, without she even knowing it. Like she didn't know how that 2-in-1 she is with how she was raised. So yeah, and her being like this even deep, like the places she worked, like she was a madam of a house. You know what I mean?
Oh wow.
Like
it's a lot of history.
Tell me stories of her running these houses and running moonshine and jazz cigarettes, and telling me how the woman controlled the because she was really a part of it.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. There's it's pretty. You probably got a lot of cool stories.
Is it skip?
A little bit, I think. Yeah, a little bit. You still there?
Yep, I think. Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's just like I think it's going in and out, but I think you're good.
Yeah, but yeah, she grew up in Little Rock with a big family, and had to survive and work all types of jobs, and it was all from the corporate world to the underworld to owning her own salon in Watts, in Palm Lane, Watts. She owned her own salon, and her and her Korean homegirl would she started doing nails on the other side of the salon, and my grandma would do hair and sell clothing, and I see where I get it from. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This is a woman that I knew where I get her from, because she when I started doing this, it got her excited. Like, giving me pointers, like, how I got on IE Weekly. This is how I got on the cover of IE Weekly. I said, Granny, these blogs ain't posting me. I'm like, none of them not want to post me. She was like, what is a blog? I said, a blog is like, and I'm trying to figure out how to
It's like a newspaper.
Yeah, like a newspaper, right? And when I told her that, she like, why don't you just hit up the newspaper?
Right, yeah.
They're like, just hit up the newspaper. She said, hit up your local publications. She said they at least got to press up 250,000 copies. Because when she ran the paper route, right? She ran the paper route in Watts, when she ran it with my Uncle John, right? And because of that knowledge and that experience, she knew kind of numbers, and them numbers got me excited. Like, what, 250,000 copies? What are you talking about, right? And soon she told me that, I hit up Press Enterprise, IE Weekly. Even got inside LA Times, LA Weekly. Wow. I started hitting up all of these people, and where I'm from, they put me on the covers. And I was like, what? Like, so there's, at that time, it was almost 350,000 copies of me on IE Weekly going across the whole, like, IE. And that's because of my grandmother, like, pointed me that direction, because she was already kind of, she did this, not even kind of, she was doing this in her way. So it was like, she was an entrepreneur, man. I can say that. Her upbringing, where she's come from, like, she would think she was a farm girl or this. I said, nah, Granny, I think you just a Renaissance woman and an entrepreneur. Like, that's what you are. Like, you're a pillar and a pioneer.
Exactly.
Who can say that was doing that? Go from Little Rock, Arkansas, farming, doing moonshine, being the madam of a house, working at clubs, working at restaurants, and move to California, to Watts, and start being an entrepreneur, doing hair, doing nails, going to the golf course with my grandpa, going to Brentwood, selling clothes at the house, selling food at the house. Yeah. Walking with Barry White to the studio, man. Wow. You know what I mean? Like, but she said, I plucked, BB King guitarist called Lucille. And she said, I plucked Lucille. And no one can, like, so it's crazy. Like, the way she was raised made her a straight Renaissance woman.
Yeah, and it's inspiring to hear that. And then it also, like, you can tell, like, what rubbed off on you. Like you said, like, a lot of the entrepreneurship and all that stuff. It's pretty cool to see, like, how it trickles down from your ancestors down, so it's pretty cool. And Melly, do you want to?
Yeah. What are some of the things you do to keep your grandma's legacy alive?
Rap. Like, rap, speak her existence, like... Yeah. Is all of this, like what do y'all do to keep your grandmother legacy going and light going?
Yeah, for me, I'll speak for me, and then I'll let Melly go. But for me, like, 7 Octoberz actually is the reason why I named myself 7 Octoberz. I don't know if you know my backstory, but for those listeners who might be new, my grandma passed away October 7th, 2014. So when I was trying to think of artistic names, because I've been making music and writing poetry for, like, since I was like 7. But then I started kind of taking it seriously a few years, like maybe like right around the time she kind of passed away. And I wanted to start like actually a clothing brand, ironically. So I was like, what would be a cool short name? And I just kept playing around with different names. And then after she passed away, like I was like 7 October 7th. And then 7 is my favorite number, October, my favorite month, just because I'm a Halloween fan. So I was like, it's kind of cool, like the two blended. So I was like 7 October. Yeah, it's just like the universe or something. And I was like, 7 Octobers, I can get her legacy to keep going because every time I tell the story of my name, it's gonna be bringing up her name.
Yep. She
And
has to be brought up.
right,
There's no
exactly,
way around it.
exactly. And then I was like, in my music, same thing. Like I bring her up in my lyrics because she was one of the reasons why we're so creative too. And like I fell in love with movies and music because of her. We would watch like movies when I was little, like Mexican movies and like horror movies and stuff like that. Even though she was super religious, which is kind of ironic.
My granny too.
Right? And then
Super.
music like mariachi music, like all that type of Mexican music. But we also listened to other stuff after that. So that kind of like fed my creativity. And I remember a story where I had told her like, oh, I want to be like a mariachi singer because I was obsessed with this mariachi singer as a kid. And she was like, she would always go to like Michoacan, which is where my family's from in Mexico. And one day she came back from one of her trips and she bought me a guitar. So she always like believed in us. Like she just fed our creativity. So that's for me.
Give you the tools, man.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll let Melly speak for her.
Yeah. For me, I feel like sharing her stories that she would tell us, or just like sharing an anecdote to others, like making sure that I feel like if I share something about her, it brings her like her light more.
Yeah.
That way other people can like remember her as well, even though they never knew her. And then kind of my poetry too, a lot of that kind of, I think it's kind of healing for me. So just like expressing myself and like writing like either just like a smallest thing that might remind me, I'll just write it and it kind of just brings her up again. Or also just like listening to certain songs that like maybe she enjoyed, or she was really religious too, so maybe like some of her songs that I remember that she would listen to were kind of like this song that's called Mi Virgen Bella, but it's kind of like this one old song, Amor Eterno. And it's kind of, I don't know, every time I hear that song, it just kind of brings her up and I just remember her. But I feel like just the smallest thing, it could be even like you go somewhere and you just, I don't know, I think just something little small details that could just
like,
always remember that.
No, I feel you. But that's it helps us too, you know what I mean, to keep that light going and keep that legacy going. That's crazy. Me and my grandmother probably watched about 500 movies together. When my grandfather passed, she went through a depression, right? And this is like my first time me smelling weed because my grandma started smoking weed.
Yeah.
And I would tell her about all these new movies coming out, but then she started putting me on game to like Godfather and The Naked Jungle and I like The Naked Jungle. I'm like, what are you about to show me? But about some ants, about these African ants taking over a village.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they took over the village and they was eating everyone. There was so many ants, and she put me on to like movies because she loved Val Kilmer, so she put me on to Tombstone and what's that movie about the lions?
Oh yeah, it's like something. I remember that one. It's like Michael Douglas comes out in it too, or something.
Yeah, Michael Douglas on about the 2 African lions that were on a rampage.
I forgot the name, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was my favorite movie because it was like, yo, the 2 last
like
African
Darkness,
rock lions.
Darkness something. Maybe?
Ghost in the Darkness.
Ghost in the Darkness. Yeah, that's what it was.
Ghost in the Darkness, and I loved it because it was like a real story about these 2 brother lions killing up everyone on this railroad because they're in their territory. I go, dude, it's like...
That was a good movie.
Yeah. So I feel you about that. Like, all of that. I watch movies because of her. I go back and watch old movies.
Yeah, I think that we can tell like how they impacted us a lot because like a lot of people, because I love movies in general, but for some reason horror is my favorite genre. And now that I look back, I was telling a friend and he was like, what made it like stand out to you? And I was like, oh, well, I remember watching like Mexican horror films, like the 80s cheesy ones, like, cause it also had like a slasher era in Mexico. A lot of people don't know that, but I would watch those with my grandma on TV. And I was like, oh, maybe it's the nostalgia. And I'm like, oh, I never like put 2 and 2 together. So I'm like, it's because I feel like I'm with her when I'm watching these films. I don't know.
Yeah. And I feel like that's true because kind of like my poetry is very descriptive. So I feel like her storytelling was very detailed. And I feel like that maybe could be something that makes me feel like I'm closer to her while I'm doing it. It's just like different things that kind of brings us back to her.
It's the anchor. Like my grandmother was my anchor. Like for real. Like, and even when she passed, I was trying to I was trying to be the person I was while she was here and realized that's impossible.
Yeah.
Like you have to become a new person. She's not here no longer. So, you know, some people get stuck because they're trying to get back to their old self.
Yeah.
But that's like you trying to get back into an old shell. There's no way. You're not gonna fit in it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
It's a reason why you shed it. That the reason why you have to become new. Now you gotta accept that that person you love that was on earth in that flesh. Now you gotta accept them as something higher now.
Yeah.
They're way higher. There's something you can't even comprehend now.
Yeah, it's like there's their vessel's gone, but like their soul or whatever you want to believe in, like is out there still. Because I remember Melly can share a story too, but I remember when she first passed away, like I still felt like her presence. It was kind of weird to describe, but I remember like the day of that she passed, because she passed away like at 2 a.m. or so on October 7th. So we didn't sleep, of course, and then like that morning we went to have, because she was cremated. So I remember we were sitting in my room and my little nephew was like, I think he was like, what, 2-3 years old or something. My mom was crying because it was, my grandma was also from our mother's side. So my mom was crying and my nephew, all of a sudden, like we had like a little picture of my grandma, and he just went up to my mom, hugged her, and like gave her the picture. And then he kept looking right behind my mom, like somebody was standing there. I feel like kids can see something like on the other side. I don't know why. And I was like, it's probably my grandma. Like, she's still here, like, just lingering real quick. Because, I don't know, like, the belief that, like for Latino culture, I don't know, I can't speak for everyone, but, like, for us, they say that when you pass away, you kind of go back to your footsteps, like, where you were, and, like, kind of, like, say bye to everybody before your soul passes away or goes to the other side. And I feel like she was lingering here. And then Melly can kind of tell her story, because I didn't have that, but.
Yeah, I think it was the day after she had already passed away. Me and my sister, we have another sister, which is Gabby's twin. We were sleeping because she had spent the night because she lived up north. So me and her were sleeping like in a kind of like a futon type bed. And I remember that I was deep sleep, but then I felt like kind of when someone kind of rubs you lightly on your feet. And usually I feel like people would be scared, but I didn't feel scared. It just felt like a very gentle like touch. And then my sister, I looked over at her and I was like, hey, did you feel that? Because like she woke up and we looked at each other and she's like, yeah. And she started crying. And then once I started seeing her cry, like the emotion of it was just so powerful that we both just started crying, because we kind of sensed that it was probably my grandma. We to this day, we never know. But it was right the next day that she had just like literally like transitioned. So it could have been, who knows. But
nah, I believe it. You know, my grandmother told me don't cry, right?
Yeah.
She believed that when you don't let go, they don't get to go.
Yeah,
that's true.
No,
right? So I was a pallbearer before the age of 10. I probably been through I can't even say how many funerals. I don't like funerals no more. How many funerals? So I've been to so many funerals with my grandmother. My grandmother didn't want a funeral. She didn't want none of that. She understood it, because when my grandfather died, everyone held on to him and we felt him, right?
Yeah.
Then my aunt was like, we got to let him go home.
Yeah.
We got to let him go. So my grandmother, her being who she is, she said, listen, motherfuckers, y'all better not fucking cry over me. Y'all better party. I need y'all to party. Cause y'all better not slow up my homecoming. My baby waiting for me. You better not slow up me going. I was like, and me and Lisa she would tell Lisa this, Lisa, you better not cry over he better cry his ass in the car. I was like, for real, man. And my granny was really adamant about that, because she wanted to go home as soon as possible. Because she was like, I ain't saying goodbye to nobody. I'm going.
Yeah.
She said, I did my job. She said, only 2 of y'all. She said, only 2 of y'all dead. Only 4 of y'all went to jail. She said, those are the, and the rest of y'all are very successful, own businesses, gonna do something in the world. She said, I got some real good humans. She called it. My grandmother called it. She said, listen, I'm going soon. It might be in a couple of weeks. I'm like, that's what I said, tough. Like straight tough. Like she called it.
Yeah.
called us out, told us don't do this. You know, told me my real name is Jamie Hyman, right? So like Jamie, make sure she said if your mama crying, don't let her in the room. like she went out. Like it's I don't know now, man. I think because I went through like anchors passing, like I had a lot of anchors pass. Like I had a cousin die in my arms, you know what I mean? So it's kind of my great grandma Jewel May died in my arms. You know, she died at 94. And I realized death is just inevitable. It's just my reaction now is I praise them. Like, you know, God in the Bible they say don't idolize no other God, no other thing, but shit.
Yeah, but it's like when you have your family, it's like, man.
Yeah, my family up there with you too. I love you, God, but I know for sure she got my back. And that's talking crazy. But when she died, the homie Watt Sticks hit me up and was like, yo, they doing a show about Kevin Durant and Ice Cube's son is going to be in it. And they doing all of this. We need you to write like 14 songs.
Oh, wow.
That's 30 minutes after she passed.
Like some blessings there. Yeah.
30 minutes. So it felt like she was even testing me because I didn't want to do it. I did it. But I've been talking to my grandmother about that, about being in shows and being in sinking, and she gonna hear me on TV one day. And 30 minutes after she passed, I get that.
Yeah, I believe that for sure. Yeah, because even when you were talking about right now about keeping somebody here, like people don't let them go, and I do believe in that because my grandma was cremated, and her last wishes was she wanted to go back to where she was from, which is Michoacan. So in October she passed away. We weren't able to get all that done till like January, right? Because the whole time her ashes were with my grandpa. So my grandpa, he had said that he would hear her. He would hear her, like, because she was like a churchgoer. So every morning she would wake up and she'll be like, Demetrio, I'm leaving. I'm going to go to church. I'll be back, you know? And he would hear her like that because her ashes were there. And I was like, are you scared? And he's like, no, I'm not scared. But then it was weird because in January of 2015, we went to go take her ashes to where she wanted to be at. And it was weird because then when we got back, we asked my grandpa, like, oh, have you felt her anymore? He's like, no, I think, what did she say? He said bye to her, bye to him or something, right?
When we landed, I think my mom talked to him, I think, right?
Yeah.
When we were there, and she pretty much said, like, the same thing she would say when she would go to church, ya me voy, or I'm leaving in Spanish. And he heard her say that, like, when we already had the ashes over there.
Ooh, I just got the chills on that one, man.
Yeah, so I was like, she was finally at peace because we kind of fulfilled her wish. Because we wanted to make sure, like, okay, that's what she wanted, that's what she's gonna get, because we wanted her to be in peace. Because a lot of times people, I think, want to be selfish and hold on to the person.
Yes.
But it's like, and for us, like, even though I know you said you've gone through a lot of like funerals, like we've gone to a few, like I've lost young friends too, and Melly has too. But it was different with, at least for me. Because it was like you said, an anchor. It was like my grandma was like the first, like our first friend. She raised us. So for us, that was like the worst pain ever, I think. And then now, like, I feel like if I were to go through it again, it was obviously still gonna hurt, but I think it kind of like prepared me because, like you said, death is inevitable.
Yeah, my grandfather was my first one.
Okay.
Her husband.
Okay.
Like that was my nigga. Like. Listen to Bobby Blue Blood and BB King and me rapping over the beats, and I'm like 9, you know.
Oh, wow.
Him patronizing all the community. So how we got our fruit was everyone who sold fruit on the corner. That's how we got it. Like every Sunday, he takes almost $200 and go buy all the fruit from all the local farmers or the homies that's up the street. Then we go get our haircut. Like all of us go get our haircut. So he taught me community. Like he taught me like like kindness. Even though he was like people looked up to him. Like when he passed, it was almost 10,000 people at his funeral.
Oh wow.
I didn't even know he knew 100 people. Right?
Yeah.
But he helped out so many people. So many. Like, but that's what I saw him do all day. Just help. Come home, talk to himself. He will come home, talk to himself. I bring him a salad. And he's just talking to himself. He said, you got to talk it out so it don't stay in. So Lisa would catch me talking to myself, but she understands that I talk out. It's not even talk. I'm just talking out loud. So like it can manifest and it can get out, even if it's good or bad. But I need to say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was my first anchor. So it prepared me for my great grandma. It prepared me for my grandfather, Breezel Allen. That's the first one. Then the second one is my grandmother's mom, Jessie Lee, and she passed. Then it went my mama's father, Breezel, Gustine Cobb. This is a grandfather that he didn't believe me that I was going on tour with Murs. Then he saw me on tour with Murs. Then he sent me like $700.
Oh my God.
Then he became one of my biggest investors.
Oh wow.
He was a loan shark and became one of my biggest investors, right? So I was blessed with a lot of anchors, meaning that I knew that I was going to get hurt when they go.
Yeah.
And my anchor is all the grand. It's the great grands and the grands, because that's who I was around a lot.
Yeah.
You know, my grandfather, mom, Blanche Cobb, the oldest, she passed at 115.
Oh wow.
Years old. Like, and she, you know, we owned the land we was owned on in Florida, right?
Yeah.
So the people that owned us, they died out and we inherited. And that's from Blanche Cobb. So when all these anchors started getting pulled from me, I feel like it became like the Peter Pan, like Captain Hook boat. Like it's in the sky now. They're floating. It's magic. It's alchemy now. It's all alchemy. But when my granny passed, she been preparing me for this. Like since a kid. Like cause she know I'm attached to her. Yeah. So she really was preparing me. She said, listen, when I go, and it's the same spill. I wish Lisa was here, because Lisa would tell you, me and Lisa been together for 17 years. So Lisa been hearing this for 17 years.
Yeah.
And it's the same spill. So this one, I don't know, she got me ready. I still cry. I'm not stagnant. When my grandfather passed, I was stagnant. I didn't know what to do. I had anger. I wanted to blame somebody. I disliked God. I just like a lot of stuff that was good, because they took away this man in my life that I just now got to know, and he's showing me stuff my father would show. Yeah. Then he get taken away from me. Like that's crazy, but gave me Granny. You know what I mean? So Granny really prepared me for. Some people I said she prepared me for the beautifulness of death. Yeah. She prepared me for the home going and the homecoming. Like it's a party. It's a celebration. It's a promotion. It's a spiritual promotion. Like you just leveled up. That's, you know what I mean? If it's not from traumatized or you being killed or murdered, you know what I mean? That means you lived your course and you survived. Now you get to go somewhere else. Don't know what it is, but your consciousness and your energy go somewhere else, because a piece of your energy is still here. Exactly. It is still, because you left it here through your blood and your DNA. So you have that, but that's how I looked at it. I looked at it this promotion, this, and that's like the second time of me having this mindset. I went through 2 deaths with this mindset. And it kind of prepared me to where now my anchor is not like without this anchor, I'm about to go all crazy and the boat about to tip over and then like that. You know what I mean? It just means that now I have another anchor. I have my self-discipline. I have my self-love. You know what I mean? Now I have Lisa. I have Lisa's family. I have friends. I have the void got filled with so much because, that was she knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
She knew what she was doing.
Yeah, and we talked about that actually with Kelsey Ray, Chris, about that. Like before, I used to say like it was like a void, right? That kind of, you said like I felt like it was a void when she left, but then I wrote a song too, and I said like I thought the without you I wouldn't survive, but the love you gave me kept me alive, and I thought about that, and I was like, I feel like even like you said, her energy or something about her still stayed here. So there's no void. It just that it got filled because, like Kelsey Ray says, like every time somebody dies and you're left with the void, then you're gonna be left all like empty by the time all these people die. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, there's no such thing as you being like that. You have to have like something in you still. There's no void. Their love or whatever, their energy is still within you, so you're not empty.
Too, that they taught you
behaviors, anything like that. Yeah.
You know how I look at myself, and I tell my homies, I said, listen, I used to tell my granny, I am the better version of you. That's what happened.
Yeah. You leveled up.
I said, I'm Granny 0.5. She was just laughing. She said, I said, if you don't think so, Granny, that means you failed. You didn't do your job. So when I tell people, I say, you got to realize they didn't just leave here with that love. They left a better version of themselves here.
That's true.
That's what your grandma did, with all her grandkids, especially with the grandchildren is doing this, you know what I mean? That now 2 of the grandkids, is out here being the better version of their grandmother. Yeah. The better version of their mother. That's the goal. The goal is, and better don't mean like I'm the best. Yeah. Better mean that was the point of upgrade. I'm gonna have this kid and I'm gonna make him me times 1,000. Yeah. I'm gonna have these grandkids and I'm gonna make them me times 1,000,000. Yeah. That's when that pride, that's when pride, that's when I love pride and being proud.
That's true.
Pride comes. I tell people I still got pride, I still got ego. I just put them in different directions. And that's when I have my grandmother start being proud of repping. Like, my grandfather was wearing all my merchandise.
That's cute.
He's in a high desert, and people was like, "Yo, your grandpa." And this is before Be Majestic. I had like an elephant shirt that said Noa James, and it said "Intelligent, Elegant Elephant." Right? Yeah. And the homies were like, "Your grandfather at the gas station with his young girlfriend and his 2-tone Chrysler on 300s, wearing your merch, bumping your shit, boy." I was like, bruh, like, that's me. Look, like, man, I wish I could show you my paintings, man. Yeah. Like, where is that?
Comment, nod, she's dope.
But that's my grandfather on my painting. That's Breezo Allen, that's Rakim, that's Nas, that's Beanie Siegel. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I became the better version of them cats, man. And people, I think grandmas, when they understand that. I'm gonna put my camera straight. Ooh. Yeah. They understand that, you know what I mean? Like, y'all the better version of grandma, man.
Yeah, I like that. I didn't think about it that way, but it's cool to think about it that way.
Yeah. When you think it like that, you go, oh, like, just and just the bloodline get better and better. The bloodline start good. Now the movement of success is faster. Okay, everyone understand that it is the best. I tell my cousins, y'all got to be the better version of me.
Yeah, that's what I tell my niece and nephew. I'm
like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all got to be the better version of me. My little homies got to be the better version of me in the community. Whoever looking up to Kelsey Ray, Kelsey Reed got to make sure that they become a better version of him.
Yeah.
Whoever looking up to me, you know what I mean? Because then it becomes a rat race if you don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just got to believe you're going to get yours. You do help, but you don't want to be in that rat race. You don't want to, you know. So I don't know. That would make that. My grandmother blessed me with that energy of it's going to get better. Even the sciatic nerve, it's going to get better.
Yeah.
That's why I look at it different now, man. Like I wasn't as devastated when she passed because I was so focused not to make sad music because that was her request.
Yeah.
Her request was, do not make no motherfucking sad music, nigga. That was verbatim, right? All the way. I was like, word. So I don't want no sad ass music. You gonna make some music about me to continue what you're doing. And then I said, right, all right. And that's what I did. I'm over here like obeying her rules and not paying attention to my emotions.
Yeah.
Because I'm focused on making sure that these things she asked of me, I complete the task. And you know, then I gave myself time. Not even gave myself time. My body said, all right, it's time. Water work, and here come all the crying and the missing her and thinking about her and I tweet about it more so I don't write sad music.
Yeah, just to
I
get it out.
I talk about her more. Yeah, I just let it out by just talking about it. But I would not create in this sadness because I'm afraid the heavens go open and I'm gonna get a visit. Cause I can think I got a visit a couple days ago, and it was not a good one.
Yeah,
it was
like, what did I tell you?
Slow the fuck down. Slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down, boy. Slow down. So I get those visits.
Yeah.
I like, have y'all heard Life of the Party by Kanye? And
yes.
Andre 3000?
Yeah. That's a dope song. Beautiful song.
First verse.
Yeah.
I love Ye. Ye didn't need to be on that song. Andre.
Yeah.
Talking about his mama and Donda. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That got me excited. I said, that's how I'm gonna talk now. I'm talking like that now. Like they can hear me.
Yeah. And even when you're in the right path too, you get I get those because sometimes we think like my grandma's spirit animal or was like a hummingbird and like a bee. And like sometimes I'll see like a hummingbird randomly, cause sometimes as artists we kind of doubt ourselves, and I'm like, man, am I in the right path? And then I just see like a hummingbird. I'm like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I don't know. It just like randomly appears,
Yeah.
She gave you that guitar. You talking about you on the right path?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that, I had to start looking at those things, man.
Yeah.
Like I know we get that. Then those moments like that will always remind you, like, yeah, because the person I love the most, or I love a lot, or I thought I couldn't live without her type of love. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When that person supports you, it is the right path. You know, they just want you to do it with love, right? Do it right and get to a point where you do make some type of stability from it. You know, even if it's just a side hustle, even if you're working 9 to 5 and you're just getting this up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, that's all they want. They just want their babies to be okay. That's it.
Yep, that's true.
I agree.
And I actually wanted to ask you a question too, because you have this dope little segment you do called 5 on Love. So I kind of wanted to flip it on you. I really love that segment and ask you what are 5 things you loved about your grandma and why?
Oh, what's the 5 things I love about my grandma? I love how fearless she is in every way. She was very fearless, in every way. That's number 1. Number 2, I love the way she dressed. Man, she can get dressed, man. She would get dressed. One of my favorite outfits of hers was this is a denim dress with a red belt with a polka dot with like a polka dot jacket, and she had a red hat, and her shoes were like red and jean, bruh.
Yeah.
Just
I know grandmas know how to dress, man. My grandma was the same way.
man, she was dressed. She was dressed. Number 3, I love her. I love how straightforward she was. I love that she didn't sugarcoat nothing. You know, it made me be truthful. Like it made me stay away from lies. You know what I mean? Even if the lie, I can benefit from it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. She made me even be truthful with the right person, so they can, you know, like she was like one of those. I remember getting in trouble in high school, and it was real bad trouble, man. I got caught up, and she said, "Listen, I'm about to go talk to these principals and all of that. Tell me everything, so I don't have yolk on my face, so I can make sure you get out of this." Right? Yeah. So it made me not afraid to own up to shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. No matter what happened, I had someone in my corner. You know, when the shit hit the fan, I still have to stand in front of it, but there's someone behind me that gonna help me wipe the shit off. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the shit gonna hit me. My granny ain't gonna let the shit hit her. The shit gonna hit me in my face, but she got a water hose in the back, and she gonna make sure the shit get off my face. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I love that about her. That's number 3. Yeah. That's number 3. I just love how, 100 she is. Number 4, I love how she accepts people, man. Like, she accepts you with love. She don't even have to really know you. She would give you love and respect. And I've seen her do that to so many people. I've seen people stab her in the back from doing that. I've seen people love her from doing that, but I just seen her do that. Like, even like our house was like, if you didn't have no place to stay, this is where you would go. Yeah. If you just got out of jail, like my auntie, she got out of jail. She killed her pimp in the 70s, right? In self-defense. Yeah. And they put her on death row. Oh shit. But he was trying to rape her, all that shit. And she killed that motherfucker. Shout out to my auntie Cynthia. You the realest one. She killed that motherfucker. They put her on death row. It was a white dude. But she ended up beating it. But ended up still doing like 25 years in prison. But when she got out of prison, no one knew she was getting out of prison. But my granny knew. I'm like, dang, granny still keep up with her. And I gave her my room up there because I'm in Fontana, but I have a house in the high desert, and I have a room in the high desert. And I told my granny, my room is so big, I told her we might have to make it 2 rooms. But my aunt was up there and were able to bounce back. And she just, what I mean by sweet, that's sweet. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's diabetes sweet. That's sweet. She was so sweet. I just love that how she could accept people and did sweet things for them. Like, don't matter who you are. Like even this, you know, like when she needed something done, she would go to Home Depot, pick up a Latin homie, right? But pay him real wages. Like real wages. Yeah. Like real wages. Then the homie, like he would fix up the house and my grandma would ask, what do your wife do? Then the wife does a business, my grandma will hire the wife, right? Wow. And she just, same thing with my grandfather with community. It was just thing about her. Like she understood, even though she grew up in an era where she got a lot of hate, where they hated, you know, she couldn't drink in certain places. She couldn't sit in different places. She did get kicked out of school. She had been beat up by police. All this shit went coming up, but she still had this love about her. Man, it's crazy, man. I'm on number 5, right?
No, yeah, you have number 5 left.
Number 5, what's the last one? Oh, man. She didn't tell me what to do. Right? She never told me what to do. She just told me how to do it well. Like everything I wanted to do, she just told me how to do it good.
Yeah.
Like, I was a bouncer. She told me how to be a real good bouncer. I did security, corporate security. She taught me how to be a real good security guard. I did sumo. She taught me how to do really like she motivated me to be the best at whatever I was doing. Like,
Yeah.
she didn't care what I was doing. Just make sure you're not half-assing it.
Yeah.
That was like the dope thing about her. Like she don't care what you doing. Like, my brother was a football player, but my grandma like, you got to, go to practice, read plays, exercise, condition. She would make him get up at 5 o'clock and go run. And that's even when I was playing football and doing all of this. So her thing wasn't like, I need you to go to college. I need you to get a job. The job thing was so automatic. That was like in our head, like, get a job to do whatever.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. She never had to tell us to go get it. We go get it, but it'd be weird sometimes. I worked for Cisco. I love to build bridges and routers and all of that, right? I used to solder, and I thought I was gonna be in IT sales and shit, and she told me, she used to she used to give me advice of, is it gonna make you happy? Because I had my first anxiety attack in a corporate job one time.
Yeah.
So she was very like that, like, whatever you do, Jamie, whatever you do, make sure you gonna love it. You might be doing it for a long time. And if you do it and you don't love it, you can't half-ass it. That's even me selling timeshares. I used to work telemarketing. My grandma said, you better hit them quotas. If you're going to do this, you better hit them quotas, boy. Don't just be sitting on the phones all day and make them, like,
you be the best at everything you did.
Yeah. I love that about her, man. That's why dope. I love it. Like, she was like Donda. That's why I love Donda.
Yeah.
I had that, like, all the time. Like, if you're going to do it, don't half-ass it. Because I'm a rep. I think it was for her, too. Say, listen, and you're representing me. So you cannot go out there half-assing. Imagine if I was whack and I had a Granny Said out. Woo, I'm doing her not justice. And, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it was a benefit of, she understood greatness and what you have to do to get greatness. And that's what I loved about it. At number 5, I just loved about that. She just pushed and pushed and pushed, man. And y'all got me really thinking about her so much right now.
And well, hopefully it's been therapeutic, because it's been for us too. Like, talk. I think it's beautiful to talk about our grandmothers who are no longer here, but they're still here some way. And like, it's living through our art, like and then me and Melly, like, both. So it's really beautiful to like have and talk about them. And who knows, maybe they're over there hanging out. They're besties up there chilling. Because it looks like she like did like she really inspired you, and I can tell like what stuff you took from her, and like you said, you upgraded a better version of her, and I know she's proud of you, and I know my grandma's proud of us too. And I honestly, I do wish she was here to kind of have seen this, but I know somehow maybe she's watching. Who knows? But we thank you.
Pulling strings, man.
Yeah.
I got the hit boy call when my sciatic really was fucking up, and I was feeling down.
It was like a blessing from her, like right there, like blessing you.
Hit boy said, if you're in LA, pull up to the studio.
Damn.
I just looked at her painting and said, you motherfucker. Just started smiling. And Lisa said, see? And you over here crying, not man here. And I'm like, I had to cry so she could hear me. Like, but I'm going to credit her for all of it. People are like, oh, credit yourself. I was like, of course I credit myself. That's inevitable too.
Mm-hmm.
But saying it out loud is, I'm on this road even because of her. She gets a credit. And strings that shit that's happening to me was not happening when she was alive. So there's someone in my, I feel it in my bones. I get goosebumps.
Yeah, she's watching over you.
She know, like, my grandfather didn't know I was doing music. No one knows except my grandpa, Gustine Cobb, and my granny. Even when my grandpa died, I started getting the tours. I just got on paid dues. Like, it was crazy. Like, all of these things happen because they know the uphill battle I'm about to fight.
Yeah.
But I'm really good at this. I'm really, really, I felt like that's how I looked at my granny, know how good I am at that. I'm so good, I made her a fan. That was hard to do. That took 10 albums. She's a fan. She want me to win. And I've been getting W's after W after W. Even it was the L, but you know how we look at L's is always lessons. Right?
Yeah.
So all of the W's, because I end up turning it into a W, you know. So it's I don't know, she was there, man. That's like my homie used to be like this. 2 L's.
That's true. Man, well, that's beautiful to hear, and I'm glad like everything's going well, man, for you. Like I said, your grandma would be proud, and we thank you for being here, like on this third episode of the Heartful Truth. We've been wanting to have this conversation with you. Go where you're celebrated. Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Look.
Granny said, yeah, that go check out that album too for those who haven't heard it. Noa James, Granny said, an album.
These are painted by fans of hers.
Damn.
These are not painted
That's
by
beautiful.
Me. These are her paintings that she had on her walls from the events I would do with the album, and they painted for her, and she had it all in her room.
Damn.
All of it. Like her homegirls would come in the room like, girl, she said, girl, I got fans.
Cute.
But she gonna get more fans after this episode.
Man, that makes me feel good. I did my job. We're disciples. You understand? We're disciples for our grandparents, and we gonna tell their story. We gonna live their story. We gonna sing their stories. That's what disciples did. That's what the writers did. The poets. The poets really were the historians. They one that traveled with these people.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So
spreading the word.
I really realize that's who we are. We're their disciples. They're poets. They're writers to tell their story.
Exactly.
They give them fans. Why the Bible got fans? There's only one reason the Bible have fans. It's not because of God. It wasn't because of Jesus. It's because of disciples. They believed in God. They believed in Jesus so much that they went out and wrote everything about him. Everything. Told their story, their love, their truth, everything.
Yeah.
That Bible was not created if it wasn't for the disciples and the writers and the poets. The historians. The Bible do not exist without them.
Yeah, without the people. Yeah.
Without the people. You know, God could have declared God and moved on, but you know what he did? He said, I'm gonna need people. Hopefully these people love me enough. But guess what? Like, we love our grandmothers enough to do that. Like, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're sparing their gospel right there.
Yeah, their gospel.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you so much again for taking time out of your day to like meet with us, and we appreciate you. And
thank you.
And shout out to you as well, Be Majestic and Smiley Printing, who just did merch for the Heartful Truth. So for those watching, we're gonna have merch for the Heartful Truth soon. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Make some noise.
Yeah.
Shout
out to Lisa too. All right, man.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Peace.
Peace.
All right, that was Noa James. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Really heartfelt, talking about our grandmothers here. Beautiful story that Noa shared with us. And again, we just thank you guys. If you guys love this show, please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Platform Collection. Shout out to the platform team. And we're on all streaming as well. So under the Heartful Truth, if you don't want to see the video version, or maybe you can't because you're working, you can hear the audio version. And yeah, thank you guys. And I'll pass it on to my co-host here.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and hope you guys like this episode of our talks about our grandmothers. And make sure to stay tuned for our merch that will be coming out soon. Thank you guys so much.
Yep. Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.